Well, hey guys, and good day, everyone. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Today's Friday. That's right. It's the end of our week, and we start a brand new master topic tomorrow, which, ladies and gentlemen, is Saturday, and that is the 21st. Today is Saturday, the 20th. Hope you guys had a great St. Joseph's Day just the other day. So, hope that went well for you guys. Had some sweet pastries and whatnot and had some fun with family and friends and got to understand where St. Joseph came from and the humbleness of the orange on the table. All right, guys, if this is your very first time joining me, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you've been here many times before, well, of course, you know what I want to say. Thank you very much and welcome back. It's always great to have people that enjoy the quality of my content and want to make this part of their lives. So, if you're thirsty or you're hungry, I have a delicious cup of tea here. Really good, really delicious. Nice and hot, too. Feel free to go get yourself one, or maybe some RO water, or maybe a snack, or another beverage, or something sweet, hot, tart, healthy or not. That's totally up to you. If you've been here before or not, don't forget to check out after the show. If you're watching, you can see my hat. Otherwise, I'll tell you what my hat says. After the show, go to believemeachieve.com. You can find my short form content, my long form content, and all kinds of great stuff that will help you become a better version of yourself. All right, let's kick this show off. You ready? I know I am. All right. So I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. I'm an engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, keynote speaker, passionate lifelong learner, a graduate student, and pretty soon, yes, guys, I will be a published author. My first motivational book is coming out in just a short period of time. It will be announced after the dedication to my parents, which will actually be on April, I think it's the 16th or the 17th. And then once that's done, it will be made public what the title is because I'm not telling anyone. And the book will officially start shipping on May 1st. My book tour will be officially kicking off in June, but we have a few local libraries we'll be doing some tours with in May. So really excited about that as well. So today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, is about living intentionally. How clarity, purpose, and deliberate action fuel our momentum, our resilience, and meaningful progress in our life. So I'm going to explore 30 actionable points that you can choose to use immediately, and they'll help start to sharpen your focus, strengthen your discipline, and align your daily actions with your highest goals. Live intentionally. That's what it's about, guys. 30 points that'll change your life. Purpose drives motivation. When you connect daily, guys, actions to a larger purpose arise. Every effort gains meaning. Number 2, guys, intentional living builds fulfillment. Deliberate choices lead to satisfaction and pride in progress. Clear priorities, strengthen focus. Knowing what matters most prevents wasted time and energy. Purpose fuels persistence. Stronger motivation carries you through challenges and setbacks. Intentional action builds progress, and every thoughtful step moves you closer to your vision. Meaning strengthens resilience, guys. A sense of purpose helps you endure pressure without breaking. And that's important, guys. Next point 3, clear goals guide effort. Yes, clear goals guide effort. I think that's one a lot of people don't realize is that clear goals guide effort. Goals act as a compass for where to direct energy each day. Purpose strengthens commitment. And when the why is clear, the how becomes easier. I often say to people, if you're not getting what you want, it's because your why is not loud enough. That doesn't mean you're not shouting it or yelling it out. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with your intentional ability, your energy toward it. And how much does it make you want to do that. Okay. Your drive. Because when the why is clear, the how just naturally becomes easier. Focus, guys, drives results. Concentrated attention produces measurable outcomes faster. Intentional living creates impact, and conscious decisions ripple outward, affecting work, relationships, and your entire life. Purpose, ladies and gentlemen, strengthens discipline. Motivation from meaning helps maintain habits, even when willpower kind of wanes away. Clear vision drives action. A defined direction reduces hesitation and confusion. Intentional effort, guys, builds momentum. Consistency compounds, turning small actions into large wins. People say to me, John, I can't get anywhere with this small thing. But it's the small thing, the small idea that actually compounds into something bigger. Meaningful things are key. Meaning comes from fuel of dedication. When your actions matter, commitment deepens naturally, almost like the air we breathe. Purpose, guys, strengthens leadership. And leaders who act with intentionality inspire trust and follow through every single time. Focus improves productivity, eliminating distractions, and this allows deep work and creative problem solving. Intentional choices build progress. Every decision aligned with your goals accelerates your growth. A lot of people have trouble with that one. They don't realize that your growth happens because of steps you take. Purpose, guys, fuels determination. A strong why helps you persist when circumstances get tough. And they're gonna get tough. But that's not why you want to stop or ever quit. In my book, I'm going to give you a little bit of a preamble here. There's something that happened to me many years ago. And what happened to me, most people would be like, oh, I'm going to pack it in. But I didn't. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that was, but I'm going to tell you how that one thing that happened to me started to change my entire trajectory. Now, I didn't know it was doing this at the time. But I gradually understood this several years ago, and I said, wait a minute, I should write a book about this. Clear priorities guide success. Knowing what comes first ensures the most important work is done first. Intentional effort, guys, strengthens growth. Repeated focused action leads to skill, mastery, and confidence. It's like we get this shot of dopamine, which is a natural high for us. And we like the way it feels, so we want to do more and more of it. I think that's the important thing. So meaning inspires persistence. Passion for results keeps momentum alive over time because sometimes things will wane. So we have to make sure the pump stays primed. That is key, guys. Purpose strengthens resilience. Obstacles feel smaller when they are aligned with your mission. Your mission, your core values, not someone else's. Focus, ladies and gentlemen, drives achievement. Your focus. Where are you? You focused right now? Uninterrupted attention yields results far beyond multitasking. So many CEOs I know want people to do 5 million things. Not 5 million, but you know what I'm saying. They want you to chat here, chat there, chat everywhere, answer phone calls, talk to people in the office, accept packages. Like, that's unrealistic. Can you do it? Yes, but something is going to suffer. Maybe you're going to get the wrong package or send the wrong thing out or put the wrong thing in the wrong envelope, right? Or perhaps you're going to give the wrong thing to the wrong person that shows up for customer service if you're in that area. Intentional action builds success. Intentional comes from our core values. Deliberate planning plus follow through creates predictable outcomes. That's one I think sometimes that we don't pay attention to, but I think it's key to know. Purpose fuels momentum, and motivation translates into continuous forward motion. Continuous forward motion, not backward, not stagnant, not staying still. Clear direction improves effort. Knowing exactly where you're headed allows smarter work, not just harder work. Intentional living builds strength. Mindful choices strengthen willpower. Confidence and emotional balance, well, that's key, guys. Meaning strengthens purpose. Understanding your why reinforces the reason for your daily actions. Your why, ladies and gentlemen, comes from your core values. Now, your core values could come from your upbringing, could come from your own experiences, and you could change your core values. That's perfectly fine. Sometimes people do. And when your core values change, mine changed, as you'll learn in the book. My life changed because I didn't let some program that was stuck in there by people I knew, cared about, people that loved me, or even people that were trying to teach me. I realized I had to change some of those programs. That's important, guys. Focus builds results. Yep, focus builds results. When you're not focused, you go off track. Eliminating distractions maximizes the effort of each effort. I had a French teacher one time, and she used to always say to class, because we would have class and we'd ask her a question. And a lot of times we'd ask these questions, and we would get her talking about something like when she went to France or some other interesting thing, and it would, let's say, circumvent the whole lesson for that day. I remember one day she told us about some food that she had tried in France. And we're like, oh, really? Where was that? And she was talking about a pastry chef. Like, oh, wow. And she went on for 45 minutes, and we were so into the lesson. And then the bell rang. It's like, oh, well, I guess we'll have to pick that up tomorrow. So we picked it up tomorrow, and then another week we did it again. Well, she started to get wise. She's like, stop trying to take me off on tangents. We're not talking about France. We're not talking about food. We're not talking about pastries. We're going to talk about conjugations. Somebody else asked the question. So, madam, such and such, so where did you first learn conjugations? Because you were from France. How was it like learning? What was it like when you grew up? And guess what? We got her on another tangent again. And we could get her on a tangent at least once a month. So we were good for not having class, which was about an hour and 40 minutes. So a good 20 minutes into the class, we would try to figure out something. And then the rest of that 45 minutes of the class went off on a tangent. We were just listing all about France and all these things. And there's also no homework because we couldn't get to anything. Live, guys, with intention. Every day is an opportunity to act consciously. Aligning effort with your vision and your values is key, guys. It is key. It's not something you should just do today or do tomorrow because, well, you feel like it. Intention is something you should do every day. You know, when you have a habit, all right, and you make a good habit and it keeps working, you've got to realize one thing. And that one thing is this, that your mind loves to solve challenges. Another thing I learned a few years ago is that if you put a problem in your head or a challenge in your head before you go to sleep, when you wake up in the morning, there's a good 95% or more that problem's going to be solved. That's cool. So your brain is always thinking, even when you're sleeping. In fact, the last thought that you have on your mind before you drift off, we call this something. This is a technique. It's been around for a while. Different people have given it names and whatnot, but this technique is something that when you mention something, you're like, well, what does this do or how does this work? And I'm going to explain it to you real briefly without getting too deep into it. And so you think about the idea, okay? And then you basically fall asleep. You fall asleep. And so that's pretty cool, guys, right? You fall asleep, but you fall asleep with that idea in your head. Okay? That idea in your head. And it's called SATS technique. I'm not sure if any of you remember the SATS technique. So, stay akin to sleep is where it comes to. So, basically, how it works is this. You remove the noise that would stop you from acting. You get grounded. Okay, that's how it works. So, how does the state akin to sleep really work? Because obviously, John, I don't get this. It's like, sounds like something in the sky, but it's really not something in the sky. Okay. You can disengage by being calm, right? But when a lot of you hear state akin to sleep, they're like, well, how does that work? Like, what's the right way to do it? And so Neville Goddard was a very big proponent of teaching this technique. When it feels like it's not working, it's working. So Neville was very clear about this, even though people skip it. SATS fails when the mind is straining instead of yielding. Okay. Maybe you're trying to monitor results. Don't. Okay. Visualize to get something. Neville didn't teach that. Okay. He taught enter the feeling of the wish fulfilled and let sleep take you. That means no convincing, no repetition marathon, no hype, no effort. Just think about it and just let it take you in. Now, this may sting a bit, okay? Stop manifesting billions, but think in this way. Think of it like this. Think of it that a loving truth. Your subconscious does not respond well to abstract magnitudes. Billions is conceptual, okay? Your subconscious lives in sensory normalcy. That's where it basically lives. And so Neville always used these mundane confirmation scenes like, I am wealthy, I have billions, okay? That's a very bad SAT scene. An effective one would be checking an account casually and noticing the balance racing. Signing something routine. Someone close saying one normal sentence. Feeling relief. So the way SATS works is SATS is about you feeling drowsy. Images could be faint, not vivid. You almost don't care about them. Your body feels heavy. You could fall asleep at any moment. If you're alert, focused, or working, you're too awake. Neville's correct hypnosis structure is this. Instead of a long recording, try to 3 to 5 minute max, and do not start with money. Start with safety and identity. Everything is handed now. I don't need to fix anything. Life is moving in my favor. An ordinary scene. Pick one tiny implication of abundance, a calm smile, a relief in your chest, an ease in your breathing, a quiet thought. It is done. That's my favorite one. Do not loop it. Don't do repeat affirmations. Let it blur and just fall asleep mid-feeling. Health and money together can jam SATs. So another truth Neville taught us quietly is too many desires dilute the state. For now, one recording for health, one for financial. Never bundle them, okay? Or if you're doing it at night, never combine the thoughts. The most important Neville Goddard line for you is the feeling which comes in response to the acceptance of the wish fulfilled is the seed. And so the thing that's very interesting about this is it goes down to talking about something that we already have within us. And I think that's a very cool thing to note, that this is already a thought within our mind. And because it's a thought within our mind, it just happens. So tonight's reset, you could do this one time. Before bed, just say internally, I release the need to make this work. Then don't try to manifest. Just rest in being okay. And this is when SAT starts working. If you want, you can rewrite things down. You can take some notions, but don't put a lot of effort into it. Don't start with a script, okay? So the thing you do is you prepare the body 2 minutes before you go to sleep. If you're not already sleeping, bring attention to your jaw, tongue, shoulders, breath, and parts of your body. And you could say something like, I'm safe. Nothing needs fixing right now. If your body softens, you're in the doorway of it. Enter the not trying zone. This is crucial. Do not visualize anything yet. Instead, let your mind just drift the way it does right before sleep. Random thoughts are fine. Images can come and they can go. You're not directing anything right now. You're not trying to make anything happen. When your feet feel heavy, slightly floaty, indifferent, well, you're starting to enter state akin to sleep. Use one sensory anchor, not a movie. Neville warned against long scenes. Choose one tiny implication. The weight of a phone in your hand, the subtle exhale of relief, the quiet inner thought that worked out, the feeling of bills being irrelevant. Don't add details. Let it just happen to you. You're not imagining, you are remembering. That's the key. You're remembering that this already happened in your life, and that's how you feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And it's wild. So your subconscious understands ease, security, freedom, authority, and normalcy. It does not understand big figures, pressure, and urgency. Again, let me explain that to you. It understands things like ease, security, freedom, authority, normalcy, but not big figures, not pressure, not urgency. The one question to ask before sleep is, how would I be breathing right now if this were settled? Keep you mentally active, trigger performance, and invite doubt, okay? That's some of the scripts that people would use. This method is different. Bypass the effort, engage the subconscious, mirror the moment right before natural sleep, okay? And you can say something as simple as, and this was a really good one. Before you go to sleep, you could say something like, I remember when I used to worry about money. That was a long time ago. I'm grateful. And just float off to sleep. I know that sounds weird, but it works. And Neville taught his one technique to a group of churchgoers in the back of a church. And he said about climbing a ladder. And he told people not to climb a ladder. Don't climb a ladder. And what he said to do is when you go home, you can write everywhere, I will not climb a ladder, I will not climb a ladder, I will not climb a ladder. Fine. When you go to sleep, just before you're going to sleep, picture yourself climbing a ladder, feeling the climbing of a ladder. But all day long, you're not going to climb a ladder, you're not going to climb a ladder, not going to climb a ladder, not going to climb a ladder. Somebody asks you to climb a ladder, you're not going to climb a ladder. And something's going to trip where you're just subconsciously going to start climbing a ladder. And it's going to break that pattern. And what Neville Goddard said is that don't come back for the next lesson until you've climbed a ladder. People were confused. So the next few days later, several people showed up. A few people didn't. Later that week, the rest of the people showed up. So it really works. I like this idea that if we don't put effort into it, it just happens. I guess when we live intentionally and we don't put a lot of effort into it, it feels very meaningful. Like it's our calling. I like that. I like that feeling. I like that thought. I think the more that we can just let go with an idea and fall asleep, our brain solves problems and challenges while we are sleeping. A lot of people that try state akin to sleep fail because, oh my gosh, I got to think about this. I got to think about this. I got to think about this millions. I got to think about this. And then they get their brain all wired a million different ways and they're going to sleep and they're stressed and they're checking the bank account and it didn't work. Of course, it's not going to work because you're expecting results, guys. That's the whole thing. You're expecting results. And when you expect results, well, that's a problem so soon. That's a problem. So it's all about living the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You might say, John, I never had that feeling. Well, imagine what it was like when you had it. You might say it never happened. Imagine what it was like when you were driving it. And by you doing that, you're tricking your subconscious, but your mind's like, oh, wait a minute. I guess we did do that. And then your body's going to just kind of go into that right mode. And that's thoughts, actions, body movements. You will naturally come into alignment for which you're trying to move into. But I found that when you try to push yourself into that place, you don't go there. No matter how hard you try, you don't go there. If you just let it fall, you go there. That's a wild, right? So when we are at ease, and this was taught by another great person a while back, when a body is in disease, it is not at ease. So when our body is at ease, our body works very well from, everything from digestion to brain power to anything you could think of. I think that's the wild thing. And so as we end this week, we talked about seeing clearly. And I think when we talk about seeing clearly, a lot of times we miss seeing clearly because we think it's just that we see at our eyes, but it's actually our perceptions in our mind, and it's how we relate to our inner world and our outer world. And the more that we can learn to let go of the inner and outer world, the more that we can connect them together, almost like magic. Well, guys, this has been an amazing show, an amazing week. That's it for today's episode of Inspirations for Your Life. Remember, guys, living intentionally isn't just a concept. It's a daily practice and way of life. Reflect on your purpose, align your actions with your values, and let momentum build naturally. Don't push it, force it. Small, deliberate steps compound over time to create massive change. Catch all my episodes of Inspirations for Your Life and more of my content at believemeachieve.com. And we'll give you more tips and strategies about actionable insights for mindset shifts, powerful lessons to elevate clarity, focus, resilience, and personal power in your life. So take control of your life, guys, today and start living intentionally, and you'll be happier for it. Have a great one, everyone, and we'll catch you tomorrow with a brand new master topic.